All right, if you're joining from home, blanket, 1 square block, 2 triangle blocks if you have them. If you don't worry about it. Okay. Welcome. Happy Tuesday, guys. We are going to get started on our backs. I'm going to give you the option of a Supta Baddha Konasana or a Shavasana. We'll start there. Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined butterfly. Terry just set up the exact version I was going to offer you. You can take those triangle blocks and kind of wedge them underneath of your thighs in whatever way is comfortable for you. And if you're like, can you help me wedge these and stuff, just raise a hand in the air. I can come over and help. And if you prefer Shavasana to start, then those triangle blocks can also go behind your knees, or you can forego props altogether. If this is the first time that you're seeing your mat today or even this week, I'm going to remind you that this is your practice. Anything that I offer you is simply a suggestion. It doesn't mean that that's what you need to do today. The one thing that is a non-negotiable is breathing. Before we change the breath, can you get acquainted with your starting breath? Just watching the air flow in and out of your body. No extra effort behind it. And once you feel like you're pretty aware of your breath, start to slow it down, deepen it, fill yourself up a little bit more. When you empty, push all of the air out. Notice that when you fill up completely, your belly rises, the sides of your waist expand. And that when you empty, maybe you can accept the support from your mat and your props a little bit more. You're welcome to stay here if you want. But if you're looking to add a little movement, a little spice to your practice this morning, gently guide your legs together. Hug them into your chest and maybe rock and roll a little left and right. And set your feet down. You can slide those triangle blocks out of the way just a little bit, but still have them around so you can grab them if you'd like. You'll lift your hips up just an inch or two and move them a smidge to the right and then set them back down. Both of your knees will fall over to the left. That's towards the pink wall if you're in the studio. Rolling onto your left hip if that's accessible to you. Support, you could grab one of those triangle blocks or your blanket and slide it underneath of your legs. When we add the twist to your torso, can you still expand fully with your inhales? One more breath here. Slowly untwist, knees face the ceiling again. Press your feet down, lift your hips up, and then scooch them over to the other side. Let the knees fall. This time it'll be to your right, towards the white wall if you're in the studio. Sorry. Moment here and notice if there's any spots in your body that feel tight, tense. Try not to judge those areas and instead just send a little bit of breath there. And slowly untwist. Knees face up. Lift your hips to move them back to center. A full body stretch. Toes extend forward. Arms reach over your head behind you. Really fill up the center of your body. And then with your exhale, hug your knees up and in. Pull your nose up. Empty out. Plant your feet flat on the mat. And then grab your square block. Trying to help you and you're going. And place that between your thighs. We're going to squeeze it, squeeze it, squeeze it, squeeze it. Then I want you to bring your hands onto your torso and engage across your core. So core bracing here. We don't want to feel the core puff up towards the ceiling. Instead, we want to feel this gentle hugging from the sides, like you're bracing for someone to punch you in the gut. And then keep that engagement. Lift your hips slightly off the mat for bridge. Now keep all of that and bring your breath back into it. Beautiful. One more big inhale. And slowly lower the hips back down to the mat. Take a deep breath in. Exhale. You can keep the block between the thighs if that helps you keep the legs and the core engaged, or you can remove it. We'll brace the core again, but before you lift up this time, make sure you're still breathing with a strong core. And as you're ready, float the hips up. Continue with your breath. Big breath in, maybe lift a little higher. Slowly lower all the way down. Big breath in. Let something go. One more time through that. So we start with the core bracing. Then add the breath in if it disappears. And then when you're ready, float the hips, squeeze your block. Bring that strong, braced core with you. One more of your breaths in to lift. And slowly lower. You can take that block, set it off to the side. Whatever feels best, a full body stretch or hugging the knees in, or both. When you are ready, you can roll to your side and press up, or rock and roll front to back. A seat, any comfortable seat, cross-legged. Tuck the legs under you, whatever works. On your inhale, shoulders go up towards your ears. With your exhale, roll them down and back. 3 more times like that. Your breath, your movement. Finishing up this last one. On your next inhale, the arms sweep overhead, grow tall. You'll twist to the right towards the white wall in studio. Press both sit bones into the mat. Use your inhales to lengthen through your spine. Exhales, twist. 2 more breaths. And slowly unwind, come back to center. Next breath in, arms sweep overhead again, grow tall. Twist to the left. That's pink wall if you're here in studio. Two more breaths here. onto the knees or the thighs. Use your inhale for a seated cow. You'll open your heart, lift through your chin. With your exhale, round through your back, tuck the chin to your chest. Start to move in and out of these two shapes at your own pace. Notice the amount of movement or the amount of stickiness that you are experiencing this morning. Drop any judgment around whatever you are experiencing. After you finish the one that you're on, you'll flip your legs behind you, tabletop. You have a blanket if you want to place that under your knees for a little bit of cushion. Go ahead and move it there. I swear I can't teach a class without having the blanket under my knees now. Spread your fingers wide, press them flat into the mat. And then continue with those cat-cows here. Since we've freed our hips from the mat, we can have a little bit more tilt through our pelvic floor. One more round. And then you'll neutralize your spine. Toes curl under. And then if you'd like the idea of that block to help you with the core bracing, take your block, place it between your thighs and hug it there. If not, don't worry about it. And from here, squeezing the block, engage your core. Again, that core bracing technique, hugging through the sides like you are bracing for a punch to the gut. Spread your fingers wide, breathe, and then float the knees. Yes, lots of breath here. 2 more. Beautiful, strong breath. Slowly lower the knees. Remove the block, set it off to the side. Downward facing dog. If you would like movement, shaking out the hips, wagging the tail, pedaling the heels, whatever feels good, or land in stillness. Can you still have some amount of core bracing here? Big full breath in, the hips move up. With your exhale, ground down through your hands and the balls of your feet. Step your feet up towards your hands. Fold towards the top of your mat. Drop your head. Halfway lift, lengthen through your spine. Brace through your core. Exhale, fold forward. Again, halfway lift. Open across your heart. Hug your shoulder blades together behind you. Beautiful, then fold forward. One more just like that. Muscle memory. Inhale, halfway lift. Hug shoulder blades. Exhale, fold. Stand all the way up. Take your time. You get to the top. Maybe arms reach overhead if it feels good. Maybe shoulders roll out. And you land in mountain. Palms can come by your sides, to your heart, at your hips, whatever works for you. Feel your connection to the mat, to the earth below it, under your feet. And then feel your spine stacking itself tall. Every bone reaching a little bit higher towards the ceiling, all the way up through the top of your head. On your next inhale, arms sweep overhead. Exhale, fold forward, soft bend in your knees to protect the low back. Halfway lift, lengthen, brace your core. Step back, high push-up, knees on the mat. Knees on the mat. Beautiful. Can you find that core bracing right here in this strong plank? Plank is an option. Tabletop is still there if you want it. Spread your fingers wide, press the ground away from you as you inhale. Exhale, lower all the way down to the mat, elbows hugging the side of your body. Point your toes, squeeze your glutes, baby cobra, lift your head, lift your chest. Yes. And then lower all the way back down. Really important, squeeze the bum as you lift up again, baby cobra. Lower all the way back down. It's either baby cobra, cobra, or straighten the arms, lift the hips, upward facing dog. Your choice, your practice. Squeeze your glutes. Child's pose, press back. Maybe roll your forehead against the mat, or place your block under your forehead and roll it out on that. Give yourself lots of breath. Check in with your body. Is the movement serving you well this morning? Or is stillness hitting you right in the love spots? If it's stillness, stay. If it's movement, downward facing dog. You take the time here to reset the breath. You take the time, because we have it in our slow flow, to engage across your core. Brace. You'll lift your right leg off of the mat. You can reach it straight back towards the wall behind you, or maybe you bend the knees and open up your right hip towards the right wall, towards that white wall. Keeping, again, core strong. Straighten your right leg again, reach it all the way back like you could stamp it on the back wall. And then core strong, knee to nose, shift your shoulders forward. Breathe. And set your right foot down somewhere towards the top of your mat. Drop your back knee onto the mat or the blanket. You can grab one of your triangle blocks here if you'd like to experiment. And you're gonna put the longest side of it on the mat. So that's gonna be the hypotenuse. It says the word balance on it. So that side down. Yep. And then you can slide it right at the space in front of your back thigh. Yeah. And then lean into it for support and see, just see, does that feel okay? Does it feel good? We want it slid so much so underneath that your kneecap is barely touching the ground. Beautiful. And then from here, hands can come to another block if you'd like, or onto the ground. You choose. We're just hanging out, breathing into our low lunge. Work up to fingertips and start to really squeeze and brace across your core. Maybe the hands float overhead. Press down through your front foot. Soften your shoulders. One more big breath where you are. The hands come back down to the mat. Curl under your back toes. Lift your back knee up. Find strength through your back leg. Warrior 2. You can cartwheel the hands up and around if it feels right. Readjusting your feet wherever you feel stable and strong. Breath sounds great. Drop right back into it as you sink into the strength of your front leg. Now you can stay here and breathe into the shape, or if you'd like to experiment with your triangle blocks, you can take it again, long edge hypotenuse down, and wedge it underneath of your front foot. want to keep our heel on the ground. The ball of the foot can come up onto the triangle as much as you'd like. And then really press your foot down into the triangle. If that helps, if it feels good on your body, then you can stick with it. As you flip over your front palm, reverse your warrior. Front hand reaches up. Can you still bend into your front knee? Breathe into your right rib cage as you lift up for one more inhale. Cartwheel your hands all the way down to the mat. You can remove the block from under the foot. Step back, high push-up. Knees can drop. It can also be tabletop. If it's high push-up, there's a big breath in it for strength. Exhale, lower all the way down to the ground or whatever degree you'd like. Cobra or upward facing dog, the glutes hug strong. If it's straight arms, your hips lift off of the mat. Downward facing dog. Invite your breath back into your practice. Check in with your core. When you're ready, float your left leg. Remember, everything's an option. So you can stick with the straight leg or bend your knee, open your hip up to the left wall, but keep your core strong, both arms straight, both hands press into your mat. Straighten your left leg, a big full inhale here. Knee to nose, shift shoulders forward, brace through your core, breathe, and then set your left foot down towards the top of your mat. Drop your back knee onto the mat, maybe grabbing your triangle and wedging it underneath of your back thigh. I'm closer to the sun, 'cause my spirit on a run. What the shape look like on one side doesn't have to match what it looks like on this side. Start to connect your front foot to the mat. Press it in like you're making an indentation. Maybe you come up to fingertips of your hands. Core braces, shoulders drop. Maybe the hands float up to the ceiling. Big breaths in to grow long and strong through your spine. On your exhales, ground down through your front foot. Beautiful. Curl under your back toes. Lift your back knee up. Find the strength of your back leg, warrior two. Yeah, if you want to set up the block under your front foot like Terry did, you're welcome to. So what this block does, the triangle under your front foot, is if you have a tendency, and I'm going to move Terry's out of the way to show you guys, if you have a tendency to let your knee fall in when we put this underneath of our foot, it's really challenging for your body to let your knee fall in. So your knee then will point straight. Keep the strength and your breath here. Flip over your front palm. Reverse your warrior. Open up through your left rib cage. One more breath in to reach up. Cartwheel the hands down to the mat. You can remove the block. Step back, your choice. High push-up, tabletop, or skip it all and go to child's pose or down dog. If you're lowering, let it be slow and strong. As you open your heart up, squeeze the glutes, protect your low back. Downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. On your inhale, the right leg floats up. Maybe you bend the knee and open through the hip, maybe not, your choice. One more big breath in this shape. And then shift forward, knee towards nose, core strong, then set your right foot down. Option to drop your back knee or not, your lunge. Can be hands down, could be hands floating up. Beautiful. You can always slide the triangle block underneath of your front foot here. Now, before Warrior 2, you can wait or you can forego it completely. Lots of breath. Soften your shoulders. One more inhale. Warrior 2, you open up towards the pink wall, left side of your space at home. Can you sink into the strength? Let your breath carry you and hold you at the same time. Reverse your warrior, reach more up than back. Sink back into your front knee if you came out of it. One more inhale to reach high. Cartwheel the hands to your mat. Step back, high push up. Land in it for a breath or two. Really brace the core, feel your strength. And then slowly lower. Cobra or upward facing dog. Strong legs. Downward facing dog. Breathe in here. Let something go with your exhale. Our last time through a flow. Left leg floats up. Maybe the opening, maybe not. One more breath in it. Brace your core, knee to nose, shift shoulders forward. Set your left foot down. Your lunge, knee lifted or dropped. Block underneath the foot or not. Breath is non-negotiable. Shoulders soft. One more inhale. Warrior 2, open to the side wall. You can always adjust the feet. What lets you feel strong, stable, and supported? Keep the legs as they are. Keep the breath as it is. Reverse your warrior. Work on reaching up, up, up with your inhale. Exhale, cartwheel the hands to your mat. Step back, last high push-up. Can you really brace the core? Press the earth away from you. And then slowly lower all the way down. This time, let your hands come either under your forehead or by your sides. Turn your head and rest. Gonna adjust the lights. When you breathe in, can you feel your body pressing against the mat? And lift your head up, switch directions. Notice what bubbles to the surface of your thoughts. And then ask yourself if that is serving you. Remind yourself that you get to decide what stays in your mind. You can always notice it and set it aside. You're welcome to stay right here, or lift yourself up just enough to grab your 2 blocks. It's gonna stay with that long balance side down. You're gonna slide them underneath of the front of your chest, underneath of the front of both your shoulders. Let me move. So take them a little bit wider, Terry. Yeah. And then lower yourself down. And your hands can come out by your sides, or they can come back by your hips, palms face up. Yes. Allow your head to drop down. If this isn't working for your neck in some capacity, just lift your head back up, kind of give me a little wiggle, and I'll come over and place your square block underneath of your forehead for some more support. And you send the breath into the front of your chest. You have 5 more breaths here. Can you extend each one so it lasts a little bit longer than the one before it? If this is the shape for you today, then stay. If you'd like to move on, and bring your hands up to the blocks and slide them off to the side of your mat, but move them a little bit further back so you can grab them later when you're on your back. Child's pose. Again, I invite you to stay if you'd like, or slowly roll your way up to a seat so you can bring your legs out in front of you. Sit tall. You can decide if you want straight legs, or if you want a little bend, you might slide the triangles underneath of you, behind your knees. On your inhale, grow tall. Arms might reach overhead. Exhale, hinge at your hips and fold towards your legs. Whatever choice you made to start within this shape doesn't mean you have to stick with it. So if you want to add or remove props, you're welcome to. Two more breaths in it. And slowly unwind. So you have those blocks under you, set them off to the side of your mat. And gently roll all the way down onto your back. You might hug your knees into your chest and rock and roll a little left and right. And feet plant flat on the mat. Figure 4, the right ankle crosses in front of the left leg. You're welcome to stay right here, or lift your left foot off the mat and loop the hands behind your left thigh. Maybe a little rock and roll left and right here, but only if your body's okay with that. Can your breath be just as fierce as it was in Warrior 2 when we're here in this supported shape on the mat? Soften your shoulders, soften your jaw. Let the corners of your eyes melt. You have 3 more breaths on this side. And after your third, you'll slowly unwind. Decide what you want before moving to the other side. Maybe a hug in, a full body stretch. And it's whenever you're ready. There is absolutely no rush to cross left ankle, front of right thigh. Stay or lift.
Bundles of flowers away through the hours of cold. Winter shall howl at the walls, tearing down doors of time.
Let your head be held and supported by your mat.
Shelter as we go.
Let your body be supported by your breath. Three more breaths here.
And promise me this. You wait for me only, scared of the lonely arms. Surface far below these birds.
Slowly let it go. Full body stretch or hug in, your choice. And we come back to the space we started with a Supta Baddha Konasana, soles of the feet together. Knees opening wide. You can take your triangle blocks and wedge them under if you'd like, or not.
Maybe, just maybe, I'll come home.
If you'd like a little bit of extra weight, you might take your blanket and place it across your torso or over your chest. Allow yourself to just settle here. Stay slightly connected to your breath.
Who am I, darling, to you? Who am I to tell you stories of mine? Who am I? Who am I?
this shape for Shavasana, or gently allow yourself to move into any shape that lets you settle, relax, and just be. You can release that soft connection that you have to your breath. Settle in. Notice your next breath in and let it go. Invite some small movements back into your body, maybe with fingers and toes. Moving into wrists and ankles, or rolling your head to the right and the left. In your own time, no rush. Roll over to a side and take a moment there. Press up to a comfortable seat. Hands landing wherever you'd like. Soften your shoulders, stack your spine. On your next exhale, empty your lungs. Use your inhale to take in whatever you would like. Fill yourself all the way up with it. With your exhale, let something go. Thank you guys so much for starting your day with me. And Terry, thank you for practicing. If you guys have any questions at all, we're here. Let us know. And I'm going to change the laundry now.